Okay, so for the second module this week, we're going to continue with earthquakes, except we're going to focus more on the hazards that are associated with those. So, of course, when the ground shakes, we know that this kind of happens. That is an effect of the earthquake. This release of energy causes the ground to shake, which then does some damage. But there are other things to think about. Sometimes we get landslides that are associated with that. We get fires. We can get other issues that show up, something called liquefaction. And so that's what this PowerPoint here is going to focus on. It's going to talk about the different hazards and how we can kind of avoid some of those potentially or minimize the damage, right? So that's one of the things we want to focus on. The second little video here is just to show you how we can get very long-lasting earthquakes, because some earthquakes last maybe 10 to 30 seconds, and some have been recorded to last up to 5 minutes. So why would that be? Well, this little video is going to explain that to you, so hopefully that's helpful for you. And then there's just a few extra videos here that may or may not be helpful, but mostly it's just to give you a visual kind of what's going on. And so here is from the Japan 2011 earthquake. There's some cell phone video of what's happening during that time, people just taking it's a collection of things. So if you watch it from about a minute 15 to about 8, it gives you an experience, if you've never been in an earthquake, of maybe what it's like. It's probably the closest you can come just looking at a video. And the second one is just a good demonstration of a hazard called liquefaction, which can be difficult to understand. And so it's just a short little 2-minute blip here that explains how this can occur. And finally, this is just a link that shows you before and after of earthquake and tsunami damage, just to give you an idea of the power of some of these natural events. So, like I said, most of the stuff is here for the quiz, but this is just to help you understand what we're talking about. There's also this article about the largest recorded earthquake, so you can go ahead and take a look at that and take the quiz. And for the homework, you're going to click the link to the assignment, and there's questions basically about this specific earthquake, the 1964 earthquake. It was a very large earthquake, happened in Alaska. It was the first time really that plate tectonics, this theory which was new back then, was applied to earthquake. And they were able to put things together about some of the features that they saw and explain that there must be some type of plates involved that are colliding. And this is why we had uplift and downdropping and all this other features that we see, and able to apply it around the world. So you need to use these references to answer the questions. This is just an overview of kind of what happened there. It's a short video, so I would take a look at this just to get your head in the space of, okay, what am I doing here? I'm looking at the 1964 earthquake, and then these references are going to give you more detail. So when you click the link here, it's going to take you to, I guess we can go ahead and go, it's just going to take you to these questions about the earthquake. And so I need you, in your own words, to answer the questions about what happened here. Okay? And so do not copy and paste from the references. Okay? You need to use your own words. And look, I'm not looking for the perfect answer. I'm looking for a 101 answer. Intro geology answer. Right? So do not feel pressured that it has to be the perfect answer. We're looking for, the correct answer, of course, but in your own words. So that's what the homework will be for this week. And so you'll go ahead and do those 3 assignments. And then for the lab, there's 2 parts to the lab this week. And so what you're going to do for the first part is you're just going to visit a site and answer some questions about earthquakes in Arizona. So we can kind of jump there, and you're going to just click this link here. And then you're going to go ahead and look at some of the earthquakes in Arizona, answer a bunch of questions about that. And then there is another link here so that you can just kind of look through what's going on. Go ahead and do that. And then finally, what you're going to do is you're going to, oh my goodness, where's all this stuff at? Okay, this is the last part. So this is the second part. One of the things that's unique about San Francisco area is that there used to be less coastline, But in the gold rush, they actually brought a bunch of boats in because everybody was flocking to California, and they left them at the docks. Those over time deteriorated because they were abandoned, and then they got filled in and buried and became part of a new coastline. So the coastline grew because they buried all these boats. And then, of course, when they started building all these big skyscrapers, they ran into all these boats because they had to dig down for foundations. Here's the locations of those. I want you to plot those in Google Earth. And once plotted, I want you to then take a screenshot of your entire screen and send that in as part 2. There's another part to it here. Look, all of this is explained in the tutorial here, so I don't want to be redundant. So when you go ahead and start the lab, make sure you take a look at this earthquake lab tutorial, and that'll help you do both parts, the first and the second. So that's what you're going to do this week. Holy crap, that's a lot of stuff, it seems like. So you have the obviously the earthquake 1 and earthquake 2. If you run into any issues, because there's some Google Earth, of course, in there, and I know maybe some of you struggle with that, please don't hesitate to contact me and ask for help, and I'll help you out.